Hello and welcome. This is Sunday, the 29th of September, and it's 8 o'clock, and we are live on YouTube. Some of you may know me, some of you won't. I'm Dave Sir, and generally you see me on live streaming with a few people on YouTube and their other channels, and sometimes I get to help out on part wax builds, and I get on a show called Paint with Penny, and I get on a show with Chris Davis, who's building a 1/8 scale Jaguar, and Paint with Penny, and she's building the 1/12 scale Routemaster bus. And so am I, and we've got several links down below. We've got a link to the Routemaster Facebook group, Build the Routemaster Facebook group, and we've got down below, we've also got a link to my my Amazon wish list if you wish to support me. What we do for you guys. We do it for nothing, and you know, we try and entertain you as best we possibly can. We try and do bits and pieces, various projects. We're building a remote control tractor. We're building part works of vehicles, of space junk, if you like. We're building the Terminator and all sorts of things. And we're like a little group of people that have banded together on YouTube, and we get involved in all sorts of everything. All good, clean fun, really. And we were saying that there was a need for something, perhaps on a Sunday night, that was a little light-hearted, a little something that you guys can get involved with. There's a link in the comments if you want to look in the comments, if you want to join me tonight. We're trying this out just on a temporary basis, really. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not a problem. We was hoping to be joined tonight by a few people, but unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond their control, they're not able to join us. Certain YouTubers were going to join us, and that are friends of mine, and you know, we was going to be discussing all sorts of things, really, but that might not be yet. But the evening's open to you. We'll see how it goes. Right, well, I'll start off by showing you a few comments. We've got Welded Mike. Hi, Welded Mike. He's gutted that he can't come on the show tonight due to technical difficulties with his router and limited mobile data, but he'll follow up on the show later and have a brilliant show. Well, thanks, Mike. Hopefully, fingers crossed and all that, we will. And then next we've got, in the comments, we've got the StreamYard link. And if you're linked up to StreamYards, you can link on there and you can join me live on here if you wish, and we'll have a chit chat. And we've got Adrian. Hi, Adrian. Thanks for joining us. And then we've got a good friend of mine, Gordy B. Hello, Gordy. Hope you're well tonight. And then we've got another chap here, Steve Graham. Hello, Steve Graham. And then we've got, oh, come here, where's it gone? And we've got Mrs. Christine. Hello. And then we've got Gordy saying hello to Christine, and Christine saying hello to Gordy. So right, well, we have Mike, Welded Mike on here, and so first off, I want to thank him. He sent me a present a little while back now, and we'll have a look at that, shall we? And if I can get this camera to work, which hopefully I can, we'll have a look at that. There we go. Okay, well, This is what he sent me. He sent me a food diary. Thanks ever so much for that, Mike. It's really is a brilliant book. I'm trying to lose a few pounds, and I'm not on the chubby side by any means, but I'm trying to lose a few pounds, and then I'm just trying to. Let's just knock that light off. It might be better. And these are brilliant books. They go day by day, and what you've eaten for your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, how many snacks you've had, how many cups of coffee or tea you've had, and how many fruit, water, and veggies you've had, and bits and pieces. And you can tot them all up and look what you've had throughout the week. And you can then look at your food of what you're consuming during the week, and if it's let's say a little bit on the heavy side, your food, then you can obviously look in there and say, well, okay, I might swap that for that or whatever, and have something a bit more healthy. So that's that. Um, Also this week, I got sent a present by my son, and he very kindly gave me this. It's actually a Sherman's living wagon, and it's made by a company called Oxford. And on here it says that these were the original Sherman's living wagons. And there we go. Look, it's a beautiful model. It really is a beautiful model. And he was actually given this model by a recent rally that he went to in Lincolnshire, and it's the Lincolnshire Steam and Vintage Rally, and they gave these away as plaques for attending the rally. And what a beautiful model that is, really. It's really nice indeed. So, and of course that one will go with the one that he got me last year. And there we are. If I can get it out of the case. Can I get it out of the case? Yes, I can. Maybe I can. Yes, I can. There we are. Now this is a Scammell. It's a Scammell model, and it was generally a generator, and it would be used to generate the fairground equipment. And again, it's from the same Lincolnshire Steam and Vintage Rally. And what a superb model that is. Again, in 1/76 scale. And you can get an idea of how big the Sherman's living wagon is. It's still in the same 1/76 scale, but if we put them side by side, if we can, and then you can get some sort of idea of the scale of them. So they're a marvelous thing to have as a memento of the rally, and it's a marvelous thing to be given, really, a keepsake, if you wish. We used to be given black brass plaques years ago and things like that, and now you're just given. Sometimes you're just given bits of plastic and a card or something, but the Lincolnshire Steam and Vintage Rally really do go overboard, and they really do give you nice plaques for attending the rally. So let me just show you one more. This was a few years ago now. This was it's an AEC fire engine. Again, of the same scale, it's 1/76 scale. So that's a rather nice bit of kit, is that, with the wheeled ladder escape on the rear of it. So yeah, that's really rather nice. So what do you reckon to that then, guys? Anyway, let me leave that on there for the time being, and we'll come back to me. And find the camera. There we are. So what do you reckon to them? Really rather nice bits of kit. Nice momentums of the show that you've been to. my son takes stationary engines to shows, and he has a collection of listers, and he has a collection of the H2R range, and he's been searching for them for many, many years, and he's eventually got the whole kit of the H2R range, so he's really pleased about that. He doesn't take them all to the same show, he just takes one or two, because obviously they are ginormous lister engines and they're so difficult to take about. So yeah, that's about it for now for that. What else can we say? Does anybody want to join me on stream? Is there anybody that would like to join me? You do? Did you say? Oh, you do like them? Yeah, yeah. Hi, love Minays. Didn't see you there. Yeah, really nice models there. Thank you. Yes. Eventually, Gordy, what I want to do is have a model railway, and not a very big one, but just a model railway. And the idea is that a lot of these models will get in touch with the model railway. They'll be on it, and hopefully we can keep the dust off them. That's one of the main priorities. But having said that, a bit of dust is a bit of realism, isn't it, really, on a model railway? So hop on if it runs out there. Okay, well, the offer's there, Mike. It's not a problem. Okay, yeah. So do you collect models then, Steve? Do you collect models yourself? Or you can see I've got a cabinet behind me, mostly buses. I didn't want this stream to be about models though tonight. We wanted to just have a chat about all sorts of everything, but it doesn't seem as though anybody would want to chat about anything. We picked up on the idea the other day when we was doing a live stream on one of my updates, and we thought that people got a lot of entertainment out of talking about the old television programs, the old British comedies, etc., and like on the buses and on the old Carry On films and what have you. And we thought, well, there might be an opening for having a chat about that sort of thing. It might lead on to something else, because there's obviously nothing on telly at this time of year, and these dank, dark nights are coming. And we thought that we could do a weekly show, but it might turn into a 3-weekly show or a monthly show. Obviously not as popular as what the part wax builds are. The problem with the part wax builds, of course, is that some weeks we only get a figure, and I can show you one that we got last week. There's the figure of the lady that we got last week, the beatnik girl. And of course, when you get a part wax, when you get a part wax figure, you can't build a figure. So obviously, you've got to fill the program with something else. And it's not always to everybody's taste that we fill the program with another part wax that's completely different to the part wax that we actually are doing on the stream. But it's all interesting nonetheless. So, okay. Hello, Welded Mike.
Hello, how are you?
Stressed.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I'd hop on for about 10 minutes or so, use up the data a bit. So.
Okay, thank you. Well,
yeah,
you are welcome. I'm just going to go through a few of these comments while you get a few comments up about you.
The only thing I can't see is the comments, because obviously I haven't got another screen.
Can you see that there?
I can see that now. Yes.
Oh, well, there you go, you see. Yeah, thanks for helping us out, Mike. It's much appreciated. It's really, much appreciated.
Yeah, not a problem.
So I'm not into model railways regards to trend, but the diamonds, yeah. making cardboard buildings and making it so well, yeah. I mean that'll all come into it, Gordy, won't it? Cardboard buildings and such like on model railways. And I've got Dave Mill there. Hi, Dave. Thanks for joining us. And Steve Brown says, yes, I do, Dave. I got myself a small Routemaster this week. Yeah, well, we've got a few of us that are actually collecting Routemasters now, including Mike yourself, aren't you? You're collecting.
Yeah, I'm just like little buses and that, you know.
Yeah, well, it's all interesting stuff. It really is. So, and Gordy says, Dave Mill. Says I, Steve Graham. I Gordy. And then, oh, where we got here? Carry On Films. Yeah, I used to follow one and only Fenella Fielding, aka Valerie from Carry On in Screaming. Yes. I met her quite a few times with my other half. Sadly, she's not with us now. So yeah, sadly she isn't, is she? But yeah, we in the previous jobs that we used to be in, we used to get the chance of meeting various people, from politicians to actors, on various things that we got involved in, and was really interesting, and I think as I was explaining on Penny Stream tonight, I actually met Gordon Brown, and he's not a patch on what you see him like on the television. He has a television face, and when he's doing a piece to camera, it can suddenly change, and that's Gordon Brown, what you see on the television. And when the piece to camera is finished, it changes back to a human being. And I suspect that quite a few of them are like that. The stars and the politicians and the dignitaries and what have you. And it's rumoured even that Boris Johnson is actually a bus enthusiast, and he has a model collection of buses, and he actually builds kit buses. So it's rumoured, and I do believe it's true. So there we go.
Hi, Gordy, how are you?
Right. And David Mills says a cabinet full of buses, men in my area. Yeah, pretty much the same, Dave. My cabinet reflects, I suppose, the bottom half reflects East Yorkshire Motor Services and all around Hull, and then the top half represents, or should I say, the middle half represents Yorkshire, and then the top half represents elsewhere. And I did have a larger collection. Excuse me, tis lemonade, by the way. I did have a larger collection, and I got rid of them because there was just cluttering the house up entirely, and it's not really fair when you are married. Even though Christine, obviously likes buses, and there's so many.
You collect all these things, and then you realise like your space in that, in it.
Yeah, and like it's a bit unfair, really, to be putting on, your good lady, your obsession, if you like, your collections, and if she really doesn't like them. And we try and keep our front room a front room, and everywhere else is well, this is the dining room, and this is, it's got pictures of Lancasters in it, and it's got Christine's pottery and my buses. And
so how many, obviously for that cabinet you've got behind you, how many buses would that hold?
About 80 models.
Wow.
Oh yeah, about 80 models. I think there's about 90 in there at the moment, because there's a lot of smaller ones. But round about 80 models. Right. Right, where are we going from here? Gordy B.
Thank you, Gordy.
Dave Mill has met Tony Blair. before he became Prime Minister, yeah. I bet he was totally different as well off camera. I know that. Oh yes, him from Hull. Yeah, I forget his name now. Yes, I forget his name. Anyway, he's totally different. Him that got thrown with an egg and then he punched the guy that threw him with an egg. So I'm not very good with names. He was impressed with that. Yeah. Yeah. So, what have you been up to then, Mike?
Well, I had a day off work, so just been trying to do like housework and that. Had to pop to Whit and get some stuff and see my mum and that. So nice, easy day, really.
Yeah, we've had our daughter here for 3 or 4 days, and we took her back today. And but in that 3 or 4 days, we've been family visiting. So obviously, we've been in and out, in and out,
Yeah.
and it's been really good because we've all been able to see one another, apart from one or two of the families. But most of us have seen one another, so at least that's been rather nice. It was nice on Thursday because our son came on Thursday night, and he was here with our daughter, so it was like we was all together. Do you know what I mean? And that doesn't happen very often
But
nowadays.
it's nice to have a family get together, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
every once in a while.
yeah, it doesn't happen very often nowadays because obviously everybody's got different lives, and we're not living in each other's pockets. So which is really good because you don't want to be living in each other's pockets, really. So. So what is everybody else been up to this week? Obviously, the dominant feature of this week has got to be the weather. At the moment, I can tell you that at the moment we are, at this minute in time, we're on flood alert. Yeah, I know that's quite surprising. What am I doing here on stream? Messing about, talking to you a lot. Well, I'd rather be doing that than worrying that river just down there is going to come over. It's only a middle warning, so it's not a high warning. So the chances are that it'll be 95% all right. So, and my feet aren't wet yet. So.
But it's definitely rained quite a lot this week, isn't it? I mean, it's been smacking it down.
Yeah, it's the trouble is it's the water table in the ground is high, and when the water table is high in the ground, and you get lots of rain, it just floats on the top of the surface because it can't go sink into the ground, obviously.
Right.
So it's rather difficult to get away, really. And this low that's under us at the moment, it keeps just moving around and coming back, and we're just getting the more or less the same weather repeated again and again. And our problem is that we watch the tides. It's high tide at the moment because we're only a quarter of a mile from the River Humber, and so that might seem a lot, a quarter of a mile from a river, but when we had the tidal surge and we was flooded, it came 1.5 miles inland. So obviously you can tell how far it come in. So all this village was swamped, and it started heading towards the next village, which was 4 miles away. So you can tell that they are testing times when you get high tides and lots of water in the river courses, lots of water that's running into the main rivers from the little river.
Yeah, because it just like escalates, doesn't it? It just like goes everywhere.
Escalates, yeah. On the east coast tonight, there's several small towns on the east coast that are in fear of the main North Sea coming over their barriers, and it has a knock-on effect I mean, we're about 22 miles from the North Sea, as the river flows out to the North Sea. But it does have a big bearing on this river, what happens out in the North Sea. If there's lots of gales and it's blowing on shore to the east coast.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say we're getting like high wind as well, weren't we? Like it's
Yeah,
proper force in it. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, so very tentative times, really. You know, but we've been monitoring it closely, and we're putting our trust in the Environment Agency, because we've got emergency calls that will ring us if it escalates any further. So if I happen to disappear off stream because of a phone call,
you know why?
you know why. I'll be picking things up off the floor. But touch wood, everything will be all right.
Yeah, everything's all good, isn't it?
Yeah. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to deflect away from my bad thinking of the weather and the river systems, because we watch them closely, not only just on the day, but you know, a few days in advance, so we can tell what's happening. And it's given a high forecast for the next few days, and it's not going to go down, isn't the river, until Monday night, but that could alter. So, and that's because of the high volume of rain that's physically come down. It's running off the fields because of the high water table, going straight into the rivers, and combine that with the high wind and the high tides, and you've got there's your problem. So, what else have we got down here? We've got some more comments, and my comment bar won't keep moving down for some reason. Never mind. So, Dave Milne says no, he wasn't impressed with him back then. Tony Blair, that is. And Dave Milne, God, he says, laughing out loud, obviously. And even though I was a Labour supporter back then, yeah, I was a Labour supporter when I met Gordon Brown as well. Not any longer though. I don't want to go into politics, but it's not a very good subject. The coach driver went to London Parliament comedian Conor. Yes, absolutely, Dave. Yes, absolutely. So, and I've had a busy week studying and working. So the weekend's been nice. The rain hasn't stopped in South London. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It seems to be all over the country, doesn't it? If it's not hitting one area, it's hitting another, and then it's coming back and hitting. You know, it's constantly going round. It's not good. Oh, lost my comments again. There we go. Yeah, comedian corner. Yeah, you can say that again, especially with what's happened with the last few months or so. P40F20, hi. Thanks for joining us. Glad you found us at last. Gordy, IP40F20, jolly good. Yeah, no, it might be a bit boring at first, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to be led by you guys, really, on the subjects. Do you want to talk about buses, or do you want to talk about the weather, or part wax in general, or anything really? Anything goes. So I noticed somebody commented on your haircut, Mike.
Yeah, Goldie did.
We'd call it a prison cutout this way. We'd
Cool.
call it yeah, we'd call it a prison cut. So no, I like to keep mine fairly short, but
Yeah.
It's more manageable. But every time I go, I often say to the woman that does it, I often say, you know, is there any more grey hairs this time? No, you're right. No, there's no grey hairs.
Yeah.
No, it's absolutely fine. And she's snipping it off, and it's all falling down on my front. And I'm thinking, they look pretty grey to me. But obviously, they're trained well, aren't they? Because they're obviously trained in people management and everything, and just giving you a high boost, aren't they? And saying, no, your hair's not going grey. Right. How's the buses going, Dave? Right, Dave Mill. Well, my buses have come to a stop at the moment. I haven't done anything on them, and that's because I've had family over this weekend, and my family's come as priority, really. I wanted to spend as much quality time as what we could with my family. And as I was saying, we've been here, there, and everywhere. I've been to see my goddaughter's daughter, if that makes sense. My goddaughter has a daughter, and she's only 10 months old. So we've been to see her, and which was really nice. And then we've been to see my mum, and which was really nice too. And then we've had my son over, which was really nice. So yeah, my buses. I want to get on with them as soon as humanly possible, because as you
I've
can
got to
tell
say,
behind me,
yeah.
I've
Yeah.
got loads of parts, absolutely loads of parts, and we have them in some big boxes, keeping them safe. And in the boxes with the buses, we've also got parts. So the parts are building up and building up. And I want to make an update, but obviously you've got to put bits on to make an update. So, and I want to try and get on with that as much as possible. I've got an appointment this week, but I think that's about it. I've got a fairly easy week now.
What do you think of that guy on the group that's doing, that big framework on his bus? Is he doing that scratch build? Because on the ceiling, it's got like wood panels. So is he replacing that with wood?
Right. Well, I know a bit of the
Plastic one
backstory to that.
from hachette.
Yeah, I know a bit of the backstory to that. Either Wayne, and Wayne says,
Hi, Wayne. You okay?
I think there's a few more eyes from P40. Yeah. Right, sons, what's my cast and thrash? All right. Yeah, and Dave Milne says his hair's gone grey as well. So yeah, once we pass that magic 50 or whatever it is, then we've got no chance, have we? It's all downhill. So, oh, come on, get off. Yeah, Clint, he's building his Routemaster from the bare chassis. If you notice, he just has the bare chassis, and he has the cab, and he has the platform. So, and then in between that, it's just the bare chassis. So he's got the engine, the cab, the bare chassis, and then the platform on the rear, hasn't he? Well, he is a personal friend of mine, and he's actually a model maker. He actually builds models from scratch. So what he's doing with that, he bought it very cheaply, the chassis, very cheaply, and he decided to build the complete body from scratch. Now he actually builds dolls' houses and things, does Clint?
Really?
Yeah, he's a very clever person, indeed, and he is using the original drawings and the original photographs of the original framework of the Routemaster, and he's building
That's going to be
a
really. Oh wow!
replica framework of what, if you took all the panels off a Routemaster, that's what it would look like. It would just be the framework like that. So he's building it pretty much exact. And excuse me, he's hoping to have it displayed somewhere prominent.
Yeah,
He's a
because he
bit.
said it's going to be like massive or something. So
Yeah, well,
finding room and stuff.
our book is going to be massive. You know, it's going to be 14.5 inches high,
Yeah.
27.5 inches long, and 8 inches wide. So yeah, it's going to be massive. I mean, if you've got a ruler and you mapped it out and you got some bits of cardboard and drew them
Yeah.
out and just place that as a place somewhere, you think, well, crikey, you know, that'd be it's massive. What we're going to do with it? So yeah, that would be absolutely brilliant once he gets it done.
Yeah, I mean, I really like it. You know, I've been waiting to see that develop for ages, like to
Yeah,
get a rough idea of it, and it looks really nice, really
yeah,
nice.
yeah, it does, and he's painting it all silver as well. Hi, Mike, Matt, Knight. Hiya, good evening. And Matt Knight says, Dave Mel, hello, hope you're well. But yeah, the framework, it's obviously wood. You know, he's doing it from wood, similar to what I'm doing with my single decker bus that you saw on my stream
Yeah,
the other night.
yeah.
He'll be measuring the wood and then cutting it and then gluing it to another bit of wood, you know, and then he'll be probably sanding it to the right profile because you've got to have it the right profile. And he'll be measuring it twice and cutting once, I would have thought, because he's been very accurate with the framework so far. If he put the panels on it, then you get a true feeling how it's going to look, you know. But that's a true one-off book, is that? Nobody else has done it so far that we know of, have they?
No, I think he's the only one at the moment.
Yeah. If I missed a comment, please tell me and I'll go back to it. But up to now, I'm getting there. See if Graham and Matt made. And who's that? No, all clean innuendos if you can, please. Because there's no screwing on this shirt tonight.
Oh God.
There's no screwing. What we got here? We've got. It's just Mark saying hello to everybody. So and yeah, it's very impressive, Mike. It really is. And anybody that belongs to the Facebook group and who I've seen Clint's build is really impressive indeed. And we've got Fleetwood J.
Hi Fleetwood, how are you doing?
All right, and then we've got. Looks like the outer panels of the Routemaster will be metal. Yes, yes, it does look like the outer panels will be metal, Dave. Thank goodness. That's all I can say, because plastic, we've got all the interior plastic, which you can understand.
Yeah, because you need like a balance, don't you, between plastic or metal, so it's not that heavy, but you need a perfect balance.
Yeah, perfect balance of the panels on the. I mean, to me, because we're painting ours, I would much prefer a metal panel for the paint to adhere to than plastic. I'm not very good at painting plastic. I haven't done it much in the past before, and I certainly haven't done what I'm doing now. This is the first time. You know, I've painted engines and I've painted tractors and I've painted real buses, but I've not painted models like I'm painting now. So, Fleetwood J says IRL. So we'll say IR. And That's a shame. Well, not really, Mark. You know, we're trying to keep it clean and green because we don't know who's gonna come along. But I'm sure you'll find some cleaner jokes. Fleetwood, and that's all right, Fleetwood. That's okay. You'll take it nice and steady now. That's all right. You need your good rest. Animals need to be weathered, otherwise they look like toys. Well, that's true. A lot of them depend on what they are, Mark. A lot of models are models, and you can tell that the model. If it's a toy, then it will look like a toy. And let's see if we can think about a for instance. If I got, yeah, I can go get a Routemaster. Easy enough to do, I think. That's just on the chair. Let's get a Routemaster. And let's get that one. So, for instance, if we have, I'll do it on this camera. If we have this Routemaster, this is a toy. And you can tell it's a toy. Let's get it near the camera. And that's because if you look at the wheels, can't get it near the camera for some reason. Let's change that. There we are. If you look at the wheels, you'll see that there's super fast wheels, what we call super fast plastic wheels. And these super fast plastic wheels are not very good. And you can tell that the front grille and everything's not very good, and the body detailing is not very good. So yes, it's a cheap representation of a Routemaster, and it's more like a toy, and it's made in China too. You can tell by the underneath look, it's just bland and plain. So yeah, well, let's go on to what I would call a model. Well, this is a model, and this is made by Corgi, of course. Can't get it in the camera shot. I might go full screen and see what happens on here. Just go full screen. That might be better. Getting the left and right. Now then, let's look at the wheels, for instance. The wheels, obviously, a lot more detail to them wheels. The tyre tread, and there's little holes in the wheels, but you can't quite see perhaps on this camera. And then when you flip it under, you've got more detail underneath. And you've got more detail in the cab and the grille. Got a few paint chips, obviously, but it's more like a model, more like a Routemaster, and more representative of a model. So would you call that a toy then, Mark? There we are. Would you call that a toy then, Mark? So, got to catch up on the chat now. There's been some chat in the chat. Okay. So, did that answer your question, Mark, about, you know, a lot of models need to be weathered? Well, yeah, some definitely do, without a shadow of a doubt. And I hand painting our airbrushing. Right, on my build the Routemaster, hachette Routemaster, and on Christine's, spraying them with spray cans, and the spray cans are specifically designed for spraying models, and you pay a premium for that, obviously. That doesn't come cheap, and the paint is mixed to the proper coach paints that they would have been painted with at the factory from new. So it's proper coach paint I'm using, and the little bits I am painting by hand. with very tiny brushes. So, and we have small pots of paints that are specifically mixed to the same quality of paints. So that's what we're doing with them. Do you watch that railway modelling show on Friday? Yes. I've got the first one watched, Mark. I thought it was brilliant, actually. I thought it was well good. I've got the other two to watch on catch up. So yeah, I thought that was brilliant. A bit of something different, and then there's obviously realism in there as well, because they're trying to build realism into the model railways, aren't they? And it's a bit of a competition and a bit of fun as well, something different. Yeah, the advert on that Beatties was great model shop. I agree, Gordy. I agree. If you ever get onto Facebook, I have a picture of myself holding a Bristol Lodecker model by EFE, and that Bristol Lodecker model was designed on the back of our Bristol Lodecker that we used to own. In fact, we used to own it before EFE actually made the model themselves, and they came along to a show I was at before I got my Lodecker restored, and they were there measuring and calculating and writing things down. And I saw these guys doing this, and I questioned them, and they said, "Oh yes, we're from Gilbo Holdings, EFE, and we're designing a Bristol Lodecker model, and it looks like your bus will be the blueprint for the model, especially the inside and a few of the outside details." So I said, "Oh, thank you very much." I said, "Do I get anything from that?" So they said, "Yeah, we're in conjunction with BT's, the toy shop model agents, and if you want to write to these, I'm sure they'll be able to do something." And lo and behold, I did write to them, and I got sponsorship to paint my bus, our bus, and we had a Beatties advert on the side, and several other adverts that were sound written on. And the only stipulation was that we had to keep the adverts on for a couple of years, and I got my bus painted for free. So yeah, that was it was really, really good of them. It was. Yeah, Gordy was watching the model railway show. Do you watch the model railway show then, Mike, on a Friday night?
Yes, don't they have like 5 stands, don't
Yeah,
they?
yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
and then they have to like make a railway and put all the lights underneath it, and
Yeah,
it's a pretty good show. That really, really good.
yeah, it is.
Because
Yeah.
I think it's like series 2, isn't it? Because this is
Yeah.
series 2, isn't it?
Yeah, I missed the series 1, and we didn't have catch up then, but we missed the series 1. And a lot of people say that this is a better series, but I don't know, because I've got nothing to compare it with. All right. And yes, absolutely. Okay then, bud. Look like not enough to sleep. No, he's not.
No, that's fine. That's my natural look, Mark.
It's not enough to sleep at all.
I'm not nodding off. No, that's my natural look.
It's a wonder I ain't nodding off, actually, because I'm not too well. So, but there you go. I always catch up if I miss them.
How many issues do you estimate till the finish of the Routemaster? Because we're well over halfway now, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, I know how many issues left. We've done this week, this coming week, it'll be issue 85. That's what will be out in the shops.
Yeah.
So obviously there's 130 issues to the completed Routemaster. So all you've got to do then is work out 130 minus 85, and you'll come to the amount, which is 45. So 45 weeks time, or thereabouts, the Routemaster will be finished.
Wow.
45 weeks time. So
is it like? Do you think we'll get any more figures? Is there any more figures planned apart from the driver?
Well, there's a
Because there's been
conductor.
quite a few issued, didn't there?
There's the conductor. We haven't got the conductor, have we?
No.
So our conductress,
Yeah.
whichever it may be, probably conductress actually. So yeah, I would imagine that they will come probably towards the end. I don't know. Channel 4, yeah. Yeah, well, I think so. Yeah, you can catch it on Channel 4. Okay, I'm looking for that. Yeah, yeah. Well, it really is a good series. I think that Great Model Railway Challenge certainly got me thinking a lot about what I wanted to do. I just wanted a small one. Didn't want to go overboard, and I wanted it so I could pick it up and take it somewhere to display it, rather than it being a static display. But that's all for the future to look at. I've got lots to do between then and now. I may be planning to do stuff when I'm 70, I think. That's if I ever get there. I don't know which. Oh yeah, we've seen that comment. Yeah, I'm sure we have. Hopefully, I've not missed any comments. I didn't know. I didn't check whether everybody could hear me all right, because I've had sound problems, and it seems when I
Well,
have the camera.
one thing's for sure is your internet's a hell of a lot better than I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
No buffering or nothing.
Oh, that was horrendous. I think I've explained that we have a wedding venue near us down here.
Yeah.
And on a Saturday, they have a wedding every Saturday, and which is fine. We've got to get a lot more traffic down here, which is fine, as long as it goes nice and steady. But there's obviously a lot of people down there at a certain set time, and then people are then, sharing things to social media and YouTube and all the rest of it, and taking photographs and sharing them, and talking to people on phones, and it all drags the internet down. Well, because I live in an isolated rural area, it's very difficult to get the internet out here. In fact, the cabin box is
Yeah, you said about 2 miles down the road or
two
something.
miles away. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and we've got the wedding venue in between that cabin box and us. So obviously they're gonna sap the internet more
On that.
than what we are. So
Yeah.
when on them nights when they have or them days and nights that they have weddings, then where our internet's going to suffer, and there's nothing we can do about it. I've one of my neighbours. He looked into it very carefully, and the good old telephones people, they said, "Oh yes, we can do something about it, but it would be £25,000 to recable it."
£25,000, bloody hell!
Yeah, and that was just to him.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, so he said, "Oh no," I said, I can't go there." So we've just got to live in hope that we can drag the internet from other places as the internet becomes more available in these isolated rural areas. We do find that the signal just creeps up a little bit. The nearest large village is 4 miles away, and they're on cable and everything, and they've got boosters and what have you. So yeah, their internet is far superior. So we can often go up the road and you can tell by the pinging on your phone, you know, with the messages coming through, just instant. Whereas they don't seem to come through as fast here, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Right. Okay. Dave, checking personal email here. Okay. All right. Thank you, Gordy. I will do. Thank you ever so much. I've actually had problems with my personal email. That's another ball of contention that I've had, but I'm getting there with it because I've since got another device. So I think I told you that my device actually got to 10.3.3, and then it won't go any further. And things like YouTube it couldn't play it. It couldn't physically play it. So I had to find another device that I could get all my apps on, because it was just knocking them off one
That's
by
like
one.
with the iPhone 4 and 5s, isn't it? They just can't get the software,
Yeah,
like the update softwares.
yeah. Well, you can get cheaper. You can get cheaper devices. You don't
Yeah.
have to go to Apple. You know, there's others available out there, and they will. The apps will come into them, no problem. What's happened with Apple is that the older iPhones and the older iPads, they're 32-bit gig on them, and all the new ones are 64-bit gig on
Yeah,
them.
or
So
120.
yeah, they are, yeah. So, and what Apple are trying to do, they're trying to phase out all the 32-bit ones, and
Right.
mine was an old one.
What,
So
bringing more of the 64s?
yeah, bringing more of the 64s. Yeah, just one small. Thank you. Used to have a model railway years ago. Yeah, I did, Dave. When I was a kid, my dad had one in the full size of a spare bedroom that we had, and he had a hole in the middle, and he used to pop up through the hole in the middle, and all the model railway was right around the room, and he had landscapes in it and mountains and
Wow.
all this, that, and the other. And when I was a kid, and I absolutely loved it. I really did. And but sadly, it had to go when we moved house. Used to have the inner city Hornby. Yeah. Snap, Mark. I used to have the inner city Hornby as well. When I was a lot younger, and on an 8x4 sheet. Yeah, that's all how we all started really. 8x4.
But some people that they do like they fit them out in the lofts, don't they?
Yeah.
Like some people, like they'll put all boarding up and
Yeah. Now everything on Guards Express, third movie book edition, still in its box. Yeah, well, that's a good train set as well. They'll all be collectible, without a shadow of a doubt. Oh no, that's horrendous, Dave. That is horrendous. That's terrible. Sorry to hear that. Nonsense. Sorry to hear that, bud. And yeah, everybody's with you, Dave, on that one. It must be absolutely horrendous. Oh dear, no.
and especially when you've had it like all them years.
Yeah, absolutely irreplaceable. Yeah, absolutely. So is this stream every Sunday night? Well, that was going to be my plan, Mark. I wanted to do something slightly different to the norm, and I wanted people to come along and join in and talk about whatever. I'm happy talking about model railways or buses or whatever you want to talk about. It's all right. But yeah, I may do one once a fortnight to begin with. Um, I have a good friend that used to stream on a Sunday night that I used to watch, and I think he's gone off for a couple of weeks before he starts streaming again, and I don't want to clash with him when he streams back on again. So I'll have to plan the next one, but I'll try and let you know well in advance. Keep an eye on my YouTube, and we'll go from there. What's it? The pages are right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, where am I on the chat? Because it's all disappeared again. It keeps disappearing. Must be the internet. All I can say is sorry about that. There we are. That's the last one, I think. So, well, there's another one. There. Right, mate, I don't remember the fly fishing by J.R. Hartley. Yeah, don't we all? Yeah. Have you got this book? What is it, sir? Fly Fishing by J.R. Hartley. Yes, I remember that. Do you remember that, Mike? Or are you a bit too young for that one?
Well, I've heard bits and pieces of it, but
You have to be a certain age. You have to be a certain age for that one. So, yeah. God, he thought it was funny as well. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of the adverts used to make you smile in the olden days. The potato one, we used to call it false potato. It wasn't potato. And the little Martians going, they peel them with their metal knives, and little Martians with potato peelers, and there was peeling potatoes.
oh wow!
In this Martian type voice. So that'll probably rev up some comments, no doubt. Oh yes, it's a rather old book. It was a rather old bloke asking for it as well, wasn't it? We went through the process and just put the mail on the 125. Oh right, that's interesting, Dave. I was fortunate enough to have a ride on a 125. That's the 125 mile an hour train, Mike, when they first came out. And they used to start from Hull. And when I used to work in Hull, I used to jump on the train at the local station here and then go to Hull, and then quite often come back on the 125 train, but it would only stop at the next big station. So I used to catch the 125 in Hull, get it through to the nearest next big station, and then catch another train back to my station. Just to say that I've been on the 125.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was it, Dave. Mash, get smashed. Yeah, that's it. You'll know it, Mike, as smash instant potato. It comes in like a tub.
Yeah.
And when that was first invented, it was invented by a company. I think it was Bachelors. I don't know, something like that. One of the companies, and they released this advert with these Martians. And what they was basically doing, they were saying that if you were still peeling your potatoes to make mash, you was, a bit, shall we say, subnormal, because everybody that was normal was or had heightened intelligence, shall we say, was making the mashed potato from this smash. So yeah, you'll have to watch it one day. Some advert on the
I'll have to have
internet.
a look on YouTube, see if I can find it.
It's quite a yeah. That was the catchphrase. Mash get smashed. Yeah.
Take care, Gordy.
Take care, Gordy. Thanks ever so much for joining us, and you'll find us if we're back on. Obviously, remember it's Paint with Penny on Wednesday, and it's Chris Davis and the Jaguar on Tuesday, and Monday, I think it's Chris Camplin, is it on Monday?
Chris Camplin Mondays, and then
Chris
Thursday
Camplin,
World Wayne.
Thursday
fortnightly.
Friday,
and then Friday is Adrian with the Terminator.
I don't think he's on this week because I think he's on holiday, but you'll have to check.
Yeah, he's going away on.
Yeah,
I think it's 2 weeks. So
I think he's going
probably
on.
Won't be a show for 2 weeks.
Saturday it's Build the Tractor. So
yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks, God, if you're joining us, and I will check your email. Thank you very much. And that's on YouTube. Yeah. And we're talking now about the adverts today. Boring. Yeah, they are boring. To what we had in the olden days. Definitely. Yeah. There was a story to them, wasn't they? Never been on the 125. Oh, well, it's an experience. They're still about today. This, in fact, Mark, they're still using them. The 125. They've just rehashed them a little bit, you know. Gardy, night, Gardy. You've been in the cab of a 125. Coming into Newcastle Central Station. Long story. How I got in the cab. He wasn't a naughty boy, was he? Yeah, there's no sense of humour nowadays. No, not in the adverts. There isn't. Definitely not. No, it's not. And Mill saying by God, and yeah, totally agree, and totally agree, Mark. Thank you. So I've just been brought a lovely cup of tea. So remember the Cadbury's fudge advert with the kids at the back of the with conkers. Yes. Nowadays, they have to wear safety goggles. Yes, that's it. Yeah, you're not allowed conkers in school anymore. No, definitely not. When we was little kids, we used to make mud pies and dens out of bricks and old bits of tin, and you know, we used to play something like True Dare, Kiss or Promise. Oh, yeah, not today though. Just going back on the 125 once she got moaned it was cold. Yeah, the 125s did tend to be a bit cold on the cold side. So yeah, no, that's quite interesting. So yeah, have a look on YouTube, guys, for old adverts going back to the 70s and the 80s. I think that the 70s, 80s were probably good times, good years. Even though we didn't have an awful lot of money, or it didn't seem as though we had an awful lot of money. But prices have been hiked nowadays. I mean, I can remember a time when only one of the married couple used to go out to work, and the other used to stay at home and do all the housework. Now it's both the married couple that goes out to work. They have to do to make ends meet. You know, how on earth did they manage back then with just one of the married couple going to work? It makes you think, it really does. Are these times better or are we going backwards? So there we go. And still the comments keep coming. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Health and safety's gone mad. Yes, health and safety has gone mad, without a shadow of a doubt. Even playgrounds aren't safe anymore. No, people who were smoking near playgrounds now get fined for smoking within certain distance of a playground. In my day, everybody smoked, and we didn't have any childhood illnesses or anything like that. We just got on with it. So I'm not that I'm condoning smoking, because I'm not, but there you go. Who remembers Condor Man? Yeah, Condor Man. What was his phrase? Condor Man. Can't remember his phrase. Best years, yeah, 70s, 80s, yeah, best years, definitely. Think back then, people had the mind of their own. Now we're just sheep. Yeah, absolutely, we are just sheep. We've got to conform now. We've got to conform to what's right and what's wrong, what people tell us what's right and what's wrong. Otherwise, there's consequences to that. And that's one of the reasons why I've stipulated that we keep clean on here, really, because there'd be somebody that would object, and they would object, and they would say, that's not on, that's not right, and I'll object to that, and I'll get him banned. And what are we doing wrong, really? So Condor Man was played by Michael Crawford, was he? Michael Crawford, of all people. And that's am I thinking of the right Michael Crawford? Betty? Oh, Betty. That Michael Crawford, the singer, the actor. Milk Tray Man. Yes, Milk Tray Man. Yeah, he was a good one. He used to come with a box of milk tray and leave it on the woman's dressing table and have his wicked way with her and clear off. He got away with it with a box of chocolates. So okay, so anything on something behind you, Cadbury's the other night. No. Did anybody else say that? Remember Z cars? What else have we got? Z car. Right. Michael Crawford was in a Disney film. At the beginning, he flew off the Eiffel Tower with a set of wings. Did he really? Who was the actor then that did Frank Spencer? That's who I'm thinking of. Frank Spencer. Oh, Betty. I've done a whoopsie behind the television. Do you remember that? Bit too old are these programs for you, Mike. But there was the good old days, innocent days. The all the comedy programs we used to watch as kids.
Have you ever watched the the two Ronnies where he goes in, he wants 4 candles, but then he means 4 candles?
Yeah.
Have you ever watched that? That is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I want 4 candles. No, I don't want 4 candles. I want candles for forks. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Good old days and missed. Missed without a shadow of a doubt. You could watch television all night long, Mike, and you could not hear one swear word.
Really?
Yeah, not one swear word was spoken. It was all in here. The comedians in them days, they used to make you laugh by your mucky mind. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Right. So Ken Dodd, for instance, you know who Ken Dodd is, don't you?
Is he the one that does the green bird?
No, Ken Dodd has the tickling stick.
I don't know him.
And the Diddy Men, Ken Dodd and the Diddy Men. Well,
No.
Ken Dodd always came out with this. It was like a duster, feather duster.
Right.
And he used to say, how tickled I am. What, to get this underneath the missus's blouse and get rid of all them cobwebs and all this and the other. it was absolutely, but it was your mind that
Yeah,
was making it funny, because your mind was thinking uh, dirty things, I suppose, whereas he wasn't actually saying it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Let's go here. I missed that. Uh, yeah, he was Frank Spencer. Michael Crawford. Uh, it, it was also Frank Spencer. Oh, right, okay. Tom and Jerry wasn't banned for violence. Yeah. Um, what's that,
I
Ron?
watched that thing the other night on YouTube. So. Yeah, that is a good show, Mark.
Yeah,
Brilliant
without
show.
a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt, was good. Sure. Yeah. Ken Dodd was brilliant. Yeah, he was brilliant. It still is brilliant, because I don't think he's died yet. Carry On films were great for a laugh. Yeah. Carry On films. Barbara Windsor, that's the most famous one. Barbara Windsor, bless her, she's still alive today. She's just been met by Boris Johnson. He's championing um, disease of the man, the disease of the man, where the man goes, where they can't remember anything, and the cat, they don't say the appropriate things and all the rest of it. He's been to meet Barbara Windsor, and Barbara Windsor, of course, is the most famous one for doing and then a bra snaps and everything pops out. So yeah, uh, Carry On films, were brilliant, really. Ken Dodd was actually a genius. Yes, he was, man. He was a genius. Still is a genius. He invented lots of things. He invented Nutty Slack, and he invented the Diddy Men, and Jambutti Man. He invented as well. Jambutti Mines. Yeah. Yeah.
What about Tommy Cooper though? He was brilliant as well.
Tommy
Tommy
Cooper
Cooper.
was brilliant too. Yeah. Tommy Cooper. Yeah. It was great. Just like that. Just like that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not very
yeah.
good at impersonations, as Chris will tell you. In fact, I'm awful. Dementia. That's the one I'm looking for. Dementia. Yeah. With Barbara Windsor. Yeah. Bless her. Pink Panther films. Yeah, they was good. They was good. Was Pink Panther films. Can you remember them, Mike? Some of the vehicles was inspired for a lot of the films through the Pink Panther films, and you know,
Yeah.
hello, Paint with Penny.
Hi,
Are you all
Penny.
right? Where are we? Pink Panther films. Yeah, Pink Panther films. What I was going to say about Pink Panther films. Da-da, 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 da-da. It was the theme tune that, as soon as the theme tune came on, you knew that Pink Panther films were coming on. And wow, it was brilliant. Mostly shot in France, weren't they? The old ones were the best, but yeah. Les Dawson, yeah, Blankety Blank,
True.
yeah.
Yeah, true.
Les Dawson was brilliant. Another artist that could do lots of things without swearing, just by the power of the mind, he could do it. The power of the word, should I say. Just done from work. Hope you've had it easy. The nonsense our penny. Keep losing my chat for some reason. Sorry about this, guys. That's better. Okay, let's go back to that comment a minute. The other ones were the best one, yeah. Les Dawson. Actually grew up in Manchester, but he came to live here in Hull, or very near to here in Hull, and there was little clubs that he used to do, and he used to do them unbeknown to the television, and he could be quite raunchous at times, could Les Dawson, as could some of the others, but you never saw that with them on television. And somebody who can do that also. Who was a singer. Didn't they call him Des O'Connor? Yeah, Des O'Connor. Des O'Connor used to sing and he used to do television programs, but he was also an unknown comedian on the raunchous side. He could tell so many mucky jokes. It was unbelievable. Where's my comments gone again? Did you realise? Yeah, we're there. Hope you're well. Yeah, Loveman is here. Yeah, he was an excellent piano player, Penny. He was, and what he used to do also, he used to play the piano, and then very cleverly, he used to play bum notes on the piano, and the piano, it sounded so funny when he did it. He played out of key. So it would go along playing and it would be in key, and then all of a sudden, pling, and it'd be out of key, and it'd be a bum note. But he would make it sound so funny. It was hilarious. Yeah, doing fine, and yourself. Loving the chat tonight. You're all chatting among yourselves, which is brilliant. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to think about closing down shortly because I'm about losing my voice. I'm grateful that you've all kept it going tonight. It was a very slow start. I'm grateful that you've joined me tonight. Well, he was a pro to it doing it wrong. He was a pro to it doing it wrong. Was Les Dawson? He was. I was going to say Bernard Manning, but Bernard Manning came in, guns blazing, didn't he? He couldn't tell a joke without swearing, really. Couldn't Bernard Manning? So he was, when it started to change, when comedy really started to change, was when Bernard Manning came in on the scene. It did take enormous skill, did that, Penny, to actually do.
Oh, I like that cup. Where did you
You
get
like
that cup?
this
I love
Routemaster?
that. Wow.
I got it off Amazon.
Oh, nice one.
I don't think they're available anymore, actually. But yeah, I got it off Amazon. It's
Yeah,
actually
that's quite a lovely cup. I quite
there's
like
one
that.
there, and there's one there, one each side.
This is what Hachette should have included that as a gift.
Yeah,
For
of
the
course it should.
Routemaster
Yeah,
cup.
of course it should. Yeah, there's
Because they're
actually a
well
present.
known, like they're well known for their cups.
Yeah,
Benny Hill.
Benny Hill. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks very much, Steve.
Yeah, well, I've got Mike to thank really. 'Cause I would have been sat here on my own, just twiddling my thumbs, wouldn't I? So
Yeah, well, I
thank you.
thought, you know what? Let's try mobile data. I've got 15 GB, so come on.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bernard Manning, as you say, could tell a joke. That's when, yeah, he was quick. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Good show, Dave Mike. Well done. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
We was thinking about doing it once a fortnight. I don't think it's going to be as popular to do it once a week, but maybe once a fortnight. We can have a catch up on models if you want, or talk about the weather,
Let's
or
see how it goes.
I can bring things in to show you and if you want to come along like Mike has tonight, you're quite welcome. And Mike, if you want to show things, you're quite welcome. So thank you very much, Dave. Thank you very much, Dave Milne. Thank you. So yeah, we'll keep it loose because I don't want to take over from anybody. I said that before. I'm just sort of filling a space and making my mark out there a little bit more because I'm not just all bus. I've got all sorts of everything. So
So do you think, obviously, once the Routemaster's finished, do you think you'll take on the Spitfire, or is that?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I plan to do, Mike. We've actually got
I mean,
3.
I'd love to do it, but without it being live on that site, I don't want to sign up to it unless it's definitely live. So
Yeah. Well, the Spitfire. Are you on about the latest Spitfire?
yeah, because I've never had a build where it like works on them bar things.
Oh,
You know,
right.
the ones where it
Yeah.
alleviates.
Yeah. Well, I was on
I
about the
think that'd be
D'Agostino one, the
yeah,
D'Agostino one that we've got. I won't be. If I had the money, yes, I'd buy the latest one, because what Penny showed us the other night was absolutely
Oh,
brilliant.
absolutely! Like when she showed us that big propeller, oh my
Yeah.
god, wow! And the way it just turns as well, the 3 propellers, the way that they angle a bit, I
Yeah.
think that's going to be a good build. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Really,
do.
really good.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, it's going to be brilliant. I mean, yeah, it's expensive, but they all are, aren't they?
Well,
nothing.
I think the most expensive one at the moment is probably X-Wing because that's gone up to £10 now.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
Nissan GTR is 40, so
Yeah. Yeah, I will do, Mark. I'll put something on Facebook or just watch on YouTube, and there'll be a link come up on YouTube like there was tonight. If you subscribe to my channel, so it'll be on there. I think you can subscribe to my channel somewhere, either up there or down there. I'm not sure which. Oh, missed one there. Would love to do the Spitfire. Yeah.
I think he's talking about it's the hachette one's the newest one, isn't it? Because
The
there's
hard,
one with model space, but that's
yeah.
quite an old, like it's been out a while.
Oh, the model space one, the
Yeah,
D'Agostino
because
one.
there's one with model space, and then there's one with the latest one is hachettes, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the one I've got is D'Agostini. So is that model
Yes,
space?
it might be the Agostini, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I intend to take them on if I can. We was gifted it by our son, so I feel as I've got to try and do it really. But I've got other planes as well that really should get on with once the Routemasters are finished, and once the display comes together, which I'm hoping it'll all be finished all at the same time next year. And I think Fleetwood J was telling us it would be about end of June or something like that. Well, if it is, if the Routemaster finishes end of June, something like that, that would be ideal. That would be ideal, because that's when I want to start trying showing the Routemasters if I can. Didn't go for the Spitfire order. Oh, right, okay, thanks. I'd like to join that, Steve, if I can, please. And yeah, I'd like to join that because obviously I won't be doing the hachette one, but I like to be involved if I can. And I just like it so much, but there's no way we can afford it. About 1 years agent. Okay, and Fleetwood J says, can't wait for the Fiat to arrive. Yes, absolutely. The Fiat and Caravan. Yeah, can't understand why a few people. One of we have a joint YouTuber that we watch, me and Fleetwood J, and he absolutely hates it. And I can't understand why he hates it either, because it's brilliant. It really is. It does look
And
like
it's a nice little cute car, isn't it? It's nice and small.
Yeah, it is. And then Steve Graham says, yeah, Fiat looks good. Fleetwood, yeah, it does.
Mike, we'll be subbing to your channel. Hopefully you won't be falling asleep through your No, it's just my natural look, I'm afraid.
Well, when he's on the Mark, we'll make sure he doesn't fall asleep.
Yeah.
we'll keep him included as much as possible.
Sometimes though, I'm lost for words. Like I don't know what to talk about.
Well, it's the same for me. It's the same for me, and I bet it's the same for everybody else.
Yeah.
So just be yourself. I mean, this is how
Yeah,
I am
and like
myself.
the more you do it, the more you'll get used to it, and the more you'll get like chatting more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you're good at talking and everything, and like, I mean, I made a hash of it, but you're good at making imitation voices. So if you want to, I can.
Yeah.
I mean, I can say I ain't got no tractors. All I have is a combine harvester, and that's it. You know,
Yeah,
but
because I missed Penny's first one, so I've got to catch up on that
yeah,
before Saturday, so I can watch the next one.
looking
Looking forward
forward to seeing
to
what
it.
the red goes like. Yeah, translate the instructions. Yeah, I wonder how we're going to go about that, Fleetwood, because I wondered if you could go into a local school or something and ask if they could translate it for you, if they had a French teacher or something like that.
Or use Google Translate. Or does he
Google
want it like it's a
Translate.
magazine though?
Yeah, it could be that it's a
Like
magazine, but
what
if
you could do is Google Translate it and then copy it onto Word or something.
yeah, that might be a good idea. Yeah, if you copied it, it'd be a bit laborious copying it onto Word and then
Yeah,
using the Google Translate, but
yeah.
that's possible. That is possible. Yeah, something like that, or the local school, and see if there's a French teacher. You're dab hand at impressions, so therefore you don't do them. Have a translator on my phone. Yeah, yeah, I would imagine that would do it. But would you then have to speak French for it to translate into English, or would you have to
Ah, very
screenshot
good. Yes.
screenshot the?
Mm.
I don't know how you go about
Or
it.
like copy and paste the French language and then it chucks it back at you or something.
Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah, copy and paste it. Maybe. Yeah. Why has this chat not come to the bottom again? Yeah, that is the bottom. So there we go. Yeah, I have a translator on my phone. Yeah, so well, we haven't lost any vision on the stream tonight, I don't think, and I
No, I
think
mean,
I'm
like I
coming
said
through
earlier,
clear
like
enough.
your internet's been a lot more stable tonight, so it's brilliant.
Yeah, touch wood. I'm grateful for that because it really was driving me up the wall last night. All I was getting was that's all I was getting, and we was doing a Norman Collier impression. Well, Norman Collier also used to live near here, and he used to go, "This microphone's not working." Didn't he, a Norman Collier? So,
But yeah, I use my camera to take a pic, then translate. Ah, right. So you use your camera and then translate it.
that might do it. Yeah, that would do it. I would have thought, and hopefully the translator is correct. Otherwise, I could read the instructions. So. Well, you know what these French are like. We've got to have a laugh. Right, guys, I've done an hour and a half or just over, and I'm very, very grateful for you coming along tonight, and I'm most grateful for Mike coming along because
Pleasure.
it is really made the show. Thank you ever
Thank
so
you very
much.
much.
We've had such diverse conversations about everything and nothing, and hopefully we've passed an hour and a half of your time away. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully it's given you something different to look to, and hopefully I'm not stepping on anybody's toes, and hopefully I can do it again sometime. So I'm going to say thank you ever so much for joining us. Look out on my YouTube for another one. it will be a Sunday night. I'm not sure whether I'll do next Sunday, but I might do a fortnight's time on Sunday and see how we go from there. I might be able to give you an update then on what I've been up to, especially with the bus and bits and pieces, and just giving you a few hints and tips on
I
what to
think the
do.
work you do on that bus is absolutely extraordinary.
Well,
It's just brilliant. I've never
well,
met someone that can change,
well.
just fantastic.
Thank you. It's much appreciated. The praise that we're getting from you guys is
Because
brilliant.
what you've actually done is transform the whole actual, livery on it, and it's even down to the small transfers.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
fantastic.
And that, well, for a bus enthusiast, it has to be done really because it's got to look right. It's got to look
Hmm.
the part. There's
Yeah,
still some transfers, believe it or not, that I've got to get, and there's
right.
still some transfers that won't be replicated on them that are on the red one. Um, Now, by that I'll mean some very, very, very tiny transfers that are on the red one, that are on the normal build,
Yeah,
will not be replicated on ours. And that's simply because when there was repainted into other colours for other companies, them transfers that originally came out with them Routemasters for London Transport weren't replicated on all other companies. Do you know what I mean? So I've got to get some legal lettering, and Dave Milne and Fleetwood Jail know what legal lettering is, and that's the lettering behind the front wheel, just where the
oh,
bonnet is
that'd be good.
behind the front wheel.
Wow.
I've got some legal lettering, and that tells where the bus belongs to, who the bus belongs to. So obviously we'll be covering it up on Christine's bus because it'll be red, and I'll be covering it
Yeah.
up with green paint. Um, so I'll have to get the legal lettering for that, and then I'll have to get the legal lettering for my bus, which will be completely different to London Transport legal lettering. So I've got to get
Ooh.
them sorted. But it shouldn't cause us too much problems. I've got the main bulk of the transfers.
Yeah.
Had to have them specially made, and I think I broke a leg getting them, but um, these are going to be one-off builds.
So you
So
know that like the is it called the etching? Etching is it called?
yes, photo
Yeah.
etching.
How is that fixed on? Like, is that just like you just stick it on, or like how does that work?
I think it's similar to transfers, water
Yeah.
slide transfers. The outcome is the same, but I think it's
Right.
done by a machine. It's done by a printer.
Mm. Okay.
So onto the part itself. So photo etching, as it says,
Yeah.
it photographs it on it. So
Cool.
that's how I believe it does. But somebody else might know any different. It might know different.
Yeah. That's cool.
Um, I'm going to put a few of these comments up, and then I'm going to say bye night and Flick Jet translation. I guess. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Okay. Good night, Fleetwood. Good
Night,
night,
Jai.
Dave. Thank you ever so much, and thank you, Dave and
Not a
Mike.
problem. It's a pleasure.
Thank you ever so much, and I've forgotten to sub Mike. Oh, don't forget to
It's
sub
not mandatory. It's fine.
Mike. Well done, Mike. I think you'll see his thing in the comments there, and just three little dots or on his name. It'll send you
Yeah.
to
So
his
like you
channel.
can next to the dots you could it say go to channel.
So we've also got Fleetwood J on here, and his channel is superb. And I'm going to plug his channel again because
Have you seen the Buckingham Palace one? Oh my god, the music to that!
it's
Wow,
amazing.
wow.
It's amazing. There's lots of amazing things to come on Fleetwood J's
And
channel.
the way he's done that Paris one as well, and he's got like the French music on that.
Yeah,
Oh my god!
just
Wow,
suits it down to a T, doesn't it?
it
Just suits
suits
it.
it so well. That's what I'm saying. Like it,
Yeah,
so much time and effort goes into making them.
yeah, yeah. It certainly
But
does.
yeah, it's been it's been a good show. Oh wow!
Really. Well,
And as well.
sound writing, yeah, sound writing. My dad used to sound write his things on real buses. In fact, he learnt in the army. He he was in the army on national service, and then he stayed on in the army, and he went to Malaya. And in the Malayan jungle, there wasn't an awful lot to do, and because there was troops ahead of them that were fighting, and they were sort of not on the front line, but there was there in case there was fighting to be had. And so a lot of the guys were just twiddling their thumbs a lot of the time and smoking in the jungle. You know, they was doing nothing. So my dad said, I was bored stiff. He said, so I wanted something to do. So he said, I went to the sergeant and he said, I want something to do. I'm bored to tears. He said, so he said, well, he said, right. He said, what about painting the wagons? He said, the signs on the wagons. Now, if you know military vehicles, you'll know that each military vehicle had a specific sign, about maybe so big. And this specific sign was on each vehicle for each company. And my dad used to paint all these little signs on their vehicles. And that's how he learned. And then when he came home and he got into Civvy Street, he he actually and he bought himself a real bus, an old bus. When he painted it, you know, the colours and everything. Said, right, I'm not going to put stick on letters on. I'm going to sound write, and he used to sound write all the lettering, and he used to spend hours with like a stick with a pad on the end, and he used to put that. Then he used to put his hand across and really carefully, you know, do all these letters and everything.
Oh my
And I
god!
bet your dad was the same then, Dave. He used to paint by hand, very tiny letters. Yeah, it is an art form that's dying. It
That
really is.
must have been painstaking to do that.
Yeah, you
Wow.
think of how big the letters are along a bus, and then the letters, as you look
And
at them,
to get as well, you know.
yeah, yeah. When you look at the
Wow.
letters, you've got like a shading at the side of a letter, haven't you? So you've got a letter, say L, for instance, but
Yeah.
behind that L, you'll have a slight black shading on each one, and that's got to be at the right angle as well, because if you put that shading of
Not
the
gonna
L,
marry. It's not gonna marry up, is it?
no, it's not going to look right, is it? So yeah, it is an art form that's dying. But there is a Facebook group for sign writing, and
Yeah.
that's very interesting. Um, and there is a few guys around, excuse me, that's going to keep it going. So that's very nice, but not very many.
Cool.
So what we've got? Tiny letters, yeah, and could do the lettering on gauge trains and tiny numbers on box house. Wow, that is brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. We must have had the patience of a saint, Dave. We really must. Used to do Let's eyepiece. We used a Let's eyepiece. Oh, jeweler's eyepiece. You know, yeah. So one of them things you put in your eye like that, and then you have to paint away. Magic, absolute magic. Oh yeah, you've corrected it. I was going to say, I thought I was missing something then. Right, yeah, jewelry eyepiece. Yes, yeah, my dad used to have one too. We used to do that sort of thing. Right, I'm going to close down. It's 1 hour and 44 minutes.
Oh, it's done well tonight.
It'll be 1 hour and 45 minutes. So I'm nearly as bad as Penny.
Yeah.
Yakking on. So, and thank you once again for joining us, everybody. And I'm going to quickly close the stream down and end the broadcast because I'm getting rather hoarse, and we don't want that, do we? So once again, thank you, Mike, for joining us.
Not a problem.
Been
It's
a
a pleasure.
pleasure. Couldn't have done it
No
without
worries.
you. And
Thank you.
we'll catch you all again sometime later on another Sunday night. So good night,
No worries.
everybody. Good night. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.